There are 5 tools in my shop that feel like cheating. They make certain parts of woodworking so easy that every time you use them, you feel like you're getting away with something. And after all these years in the shop, every time I use them, I get that same feeling. And I think you will too. Let's go. Before we get started, if you'd like to check out any of these tools, there's links in the description, the pinned comment. Of course, you can scan the QR code with your phone if you're watching on TV. It takes you right to the website. Now, let's get away with something. I don't think any woodworking tool list would be complete without the table saw. Now, the table saw is not an end-all be-all. I think a lot of people could get away with not having a table saw, and I might make a video about that. But I think it's one of those tools that if you have one and you use it for the projects you're making, it'll just hook you. When you cut through that fresh piece of walnut, just the smell of that walnut, it's just a thing of beauty. It is awesome. Now, a table saw lets you get really good, accurate parallel cuts. In other words, rip cuts, cross cuts. You can do a ton, especially when you start adding jigs to it, like a table saw sled. The Rockler is probably one of the best I've used. I'll link to it in the description. There's also a review on the channel if you want to check it out. If you're on a budget, the PowerTech's a good option, but I really think the Rockler is the way to go if you're just going to have one table saw sled and be done. But overall, the table saw is a fantastic tool to have in the shop because it is, again, really versatile. You can do a bunch with them, and you'll wind up using them all the time. You can rip down sheet goods like plywood, you can cut smaller boards, you can cut longer boards. You can just make a bunch of stuff with a table saw. You can cut dados, you get a dado stack, just all kinds of stuff. Like, the things are just insanely useful. Now, there's several I would recommend. Look at the Skill if you're looking for a budget table saw. I think that's the best under $400. I think it's like $320-ish, depending on the time of the year and the sale and stuff. It's the best table saw under $400 in my opinion. If you're looking for the best one under $1,000, I really like the DeWalt contractor style, the 10-inch style, or even on a budget, the 8 1/4 if your size is a concern as well. But the DeWalt 10-inch is a really good table saw. Stepping up into cabinet saws, I like the SawStop. You know, they are quite pricey. You can hardly put a price on your fingers, and I think it's a fantastic machine as well. Not just because of the safety features, overall, it's just a really good machine. But just like routers and miter saws, the blade tells a lot of the story. It doesn't matter what table saw you have, if you upgrade the blade, you're going to get a better cut. Usually on table saws, a general purpose blade, in other words, a 40-tooth blade is probably the best pick for most people. Now, if you're doing a lot of cross cutting, you'll want a higher tooth count blade, say like an 80-tooth or something like that. If you're doing a lot of rip cutting, in other words, just ripping down the length of a board, 24-tooth what you're going to want. But for most people, you can do both of those, rip cut and cross cut, with a good 40-tooth blade. I'll recommend a few in the description, just depends on your saw. Next on the list, I cannot leave this one out. I love it too much. It is by far my favorite woodworking tool on the planet, and that is the track saw. And I'm not specifically talking about the Milwaukee, although this is my favorite one. There are several here to choose from. I did an entire video where I ranked 15 of the top track saws from worst to first to find the best. And there's a few here I would recommend you buying. But first, why would you want a track saw? It's an absolute joy to use. It's not just a circular saw. A lot of people think it's just a circular saw. While, yeah, it can do circular saw things, it is awesome. It's on a straight rail, so every cut you make is perfectly straight. You're getting a really clean cut. And just overall, it's just, I don't know, there's just something about it gliding so smooth in a perfect straight line. I just love it. I love a track saw. I love the way they plunge. I love the depth adjustments. I just love them. I don't know why. They're just awesome. But there are some kind of stinkers in there. I didn't really like the Grizzly one. I thought it had a little too much flex. I didn't like the Ryobi one. For one, it has proprietary tracks. In other words, you can only use their tracks with their saw. And I just didn't like the cut quality as far as deflection. It just moved too much from the base, so you didn't get good, accurate cuts. If you're looking for good quality track saws, the Milwaukee's on the top of my list. I love it, but it is also in the M18 platform. If you want a corded track saw, the Makita is probably one of the better ones. If you're on a budget, just get the Kreg. I don't know if you can see it. It's right up there. The Kreg track saw, fantastic track saw for the price, and coming in September 2026. They're redesigning the base of the track saw. Everything else will stay the same, but the base will now be compatible with other people's tracks like Festool, Milwaukee, Makita. All of those tracks will interchange with each other, and they're adding anti-tip, which is awesome. So if you're just looking for a good budget level, that's probably the best one to go with. Otherwise, I would pick Makita, Milwaukee, or those types. If you're a DeWalt fan, hang tight, because I think coming in August, maybe this month as you see this video, we should have a new 20-volt DeWalt track saw, which I plan to review. If you'd like to see it, hit subscribe. Next is the jointer, but not just a jointer, because jointers are very expensive. There are some methods that you can use to joint boards without a jointer, thereby saving you the money. When I started woodworking, one of the greatest challenges I had was trying to get two boards to come together and be a perfect seam. In other words, no gaps. Because before, I had no way of doing that. I would buy lumber at my local lumber store or Home Depot or Lowe's, and I would try to build a tabletop, And when I put the two boards together, it was like just gaps and holes all the way down through it because the edges of those boards are not perfectly flush or square. When you get a jointer, all that goes away. So now you can build tabletops. And when you're able to joint boards, whether that be with a jointer or some of these alternative methods I'll show you, it changes everything. It makes you just want to continue to build those things, AKA be addicted to it, because now you can get perfectly seamless joints and it looks like a professional done it, even if you're a beginner. Obviously, jointer is probably the easiest method. I like the Wahuda. I've had it for multiple years now. It does edge jointing and face jointing, which if a board is twisted, you can basically take the twist out of it using the face jointing. Now, the one I have is an 8-inch jointer. They have 6-inch, 8-inch, 10-inch, and 12-inch jointers, usually for benchtop style jointers. In other words, that's how wide of a board you could joint on there. The wider the better. It just depends on your budget there. I think a 10-inch is a good solid kind of middle ground, but if you can't afford one of those, then a 6-inch will at least get you the edge jointing and a 6-inch wide board. If you don't have the budget for a jointer, there's a few methods I will recommend on jointing boards. Now, I've used the old level method for a long time. It's basically a 4-foot level. You use it on the table saw and it slides with the board. And what that does is gives your board a reference straight edge. It's not the same as if you put it on the fence and cut it. If you try that, it's still going to have, you're still not going to get a perfectly straight edge. If you put that level on there and make sure you're doing it safely, push them both through at the same time, you're going to get a really straight edge. I've proved this over and over and over again. It's a really good, very inexpensive method. Or you can build a jointing jig, which is even better. Now I use the micro jig dovetail system to be able to make this little jig. I've got a plan for this on the website. Just head over to 731woodworks.com, look in the plan section. But it's very easy to make. It's about 3 foot long. You're going to route these grooves in there, and then you can clamp the board down. And this works really well, especially if you have like live edge boards. You're just taking that live edge off. You can make a perfectly straight edge joint and then put two boards together, and now you've got two jointed edges. So making tabletops, cutting boards, that sort of thing just become a lot easier. There's a whole bunch of other methods. I have a video on the channel. If you just search 731 Woodworks, no jointer, no problem, you'll find that video. Check all those out and see if that'll help you. The next tools that really just hook you, make you really want to continue to come back to the shop. Good quality layout tools, and they don't have to be expensive layout tools. I'll give you a few options here. I really like the Win layout tools. Now Win has rulers and T-squares and all kinds of stuff that are very well priced. We're talking about under $30 for most of them, and they are dead accurate. They're just really good high quality layout tools for very little money. Also, my favorite tape measure, and a lot of your favorite tape measures, is the Fast Cap lefty-righty tape measure. These things are fantastic, but a lot of people love them because on the surface they have the measurements written on there. So like 1/8, quarter, 3/8, that sort of thing. Especially for beginners, people absolutely love this tape measure for a good reason. It's a good quality tape measure as well. And they're only about $7, so that makes it even better. For higher quality layout tools, iGaging makes a good set of bench squares like this with a ton of different features in them. They also have regular like carpenter squares. Or if you have the budget, you can look at woodpeckers. While a lot of people kind of bash on them for their higher price, they're absolutely high quality and they're really nice to use. And of course, one of the most popular pencils for laying out is the Pentel Graph Gear. You can do 0.5, 0.7, or 0.9 lead. I actually like the 0.9 lead. It's a little thicker and it just doesn't seem to break as much for me. But overall, it doesn't matter what budget level you go with as far as your layout tools. When you get some really accurate layout tools, it just makes cutting stuff that much better. Number 5 on the list, joinery methods that most beginners don't think they can use, but they can. And when you start using various joinery methods, it's just like, wow, I made that. Anyways, you want to do it again. And so that's what we're going to talk about for number 10. First, dowel jigs. Dowel jigs can range in price from very inexpensive. If you look at something like the Milescraft dowel jig, basically comes with all the parts and pieces you need to cut dowels. I put the outside frame of this workbench together with dowels and the inside frame together with pocket holes. So this is kind of a multi-joinery method workbench that I got here. But dowels will open up a different level of joinery because now you don't have pocket hole screws on the back side of anything, so you can't see them. They're very strong and they're very easy to use. Now it doesn't matter if you're using something like the DowelMax or if you're using something like Jessom dowel jigs or even the Milescraft dowel jig. There's a bunch of different ones on the market. I actually like the Jessom dowel jig a lot, but I did use the DowelMax on this workbench. It also worked extremely well. Overall, just having some type of alternate joinery method when you put everything together and you can't see anything, like it just looks like the board's floating up there, you're like, wow, that looks good. You can also do traditional joinery like mortise and tenon and that sort of thing, or kind of go more controversial, festal domino, or more recently, the Craig Edge, because now it's affordable for a lot more people having a loose tenon joiner like this Craig Edge, and it's a fantastic tool as well. What that's going to allow you to do is make very fast mortises, and then the tenon is actually the loose tenon, aka the domino, the little part that goes in there. I built tables with dominoes, I built picture frames with dominoes. They're just extremely fast, dead accurate, and so easy to use. That's what's really great, is because somebody like me who's never cut a traditional mortise and tenon, and probably never will because I'm not that big into hand tools, now I have the opportunity to make that style joinery. When you use tools like these and you put projects together and you stand back and you look at it and you think to yourself, I can't believe that I did that. I cannot believe that I created that. That's what makes woodworking so addictive. You got to check out that video right there, because those 5 tools make you addicted to woodworking. You'll just keep coming back to the shop just to use them. Click that box, get you the big old virtual fist bump.